I'll do a little update video here. So I've been keeping busy out in the garage every day, but working on all the bikes, so nothing's really too specific. But this fuel tank here, it had rust and water in it, so I flushed it out really good, and then I put some drywall screws in it, shook it all around really good, washed it again twice with boiling hot water and soap, rinsed that out, and then finally some lacquer thinner, maybe a cup or two of that, slushed that all around, and then I sealed it. Not the spout here, but the whole tank I sealed. And then the bottom corner of this tank right here sits the low side. The inside of this tank here is all rusty. I should have took pictures of that. Sealed that up. What else? Oh yeah, the float mechanism inside here. I should have took pictures of a bunch of stuff or videoed it, but anyways, the float wasn't working properly. I rebuilt it, put a little piece of copper, soldered it in there. I think it works. I put a meter on it. It says it's working. I got no fuel in the tank right now, but it may not read either all the way to full tank or all the way to empty because the little piece of copper had to be spring loaded in there, and it runs in a little coil. But anyways, I soldered that up. These things are a couple $100 just for that float mechanism in there. It should work. It'll work a little bit anyways. If not, I can get a used one maybe. Yeah, this was disconnected on the bike. I didn't realize it. I looked underneath, the wires were cut off, and I saw on the frame here, I always had an orange wire cut off here in the frame and taped up. Well, that's where it goes, the orange wire and this ground wire. So that's what I've been working on that bike a little bit. I might change that rear tire today and then tuck those wires in a little bit better and clean that all up. And I'm working on the brakes on this bike right now. Sandblasted these, painted them there. The paint was all peeling off them. Cleaned all the parts all up, and I'm just kind of putting that back together now, ready to put it back on the bike. But I kind of want to get the hoist cleaned off, and I think I'll do it all up on the bike there. I got a whole bunch of parts in Port Huron, Michigan, but all the borders are closed. I can't get across the bridge, so I'm hoping it's going to open up in a week or two, because I've got 10 or 15 parts over there waiting. On this bike, I put a couple relays in for the signal lights, front signal lights to work, and it worked. You'd just have to hold the button down, but yeah, I think this is going to be my main riding bike here, and I'm probably going to do a few trips on this, maybe a little bit of touring, hopefully go to the West Coast. That's my dream, and then maybe down through the States, California, and back through Sturgis this summer. That's what I'd like to do, but I don't know if that's all going to happen this year. But so anyways, I put in one of these Badlands boxes in here, and I think this one's like $69. The Harley ones are $200-300 to replace. And it works pretty good. Everything works good. It says it'll work for four-way flashers, but I think this bike didn't come with four-way flashers. And I got power and everything going for that switch over there, but I don't know if I knew which wire to tap into, I'd love to have the four-way flashers working. And ever since I bought this bike and this fairing was off, I don't know where that blue wire goes, unless it just goes to ground. I'm looking in the wiring diagrams. I don't see a blue and white wire. I looked at the diagrams for all these wires. Everything's supposed to be on these 30 amp breakers. They're all proper. So I don't know where that goes. I know some of them are for the stereo. There's some blank ones or CB radio. Harley puts in a lot of blanks in here, like this one here. I think that's for accessories, CB radio or intercom, and then there's another one. This one here. I think that's for the intercom system. So there's some blanks in there. I'm going to solder these wires up properly now, and the signal lights work perfect. But the new battery I bought isn't holding a charge very good. I got it charging now, and just Had it on there all morning. It's, you know, I think it's just drop. It's a brand new battery. Brand new freaking battery. Piece of shit. Put it on low amps. But, before I check that battery, the solenoid on this FLH, well, all the Harleys back then, 80s and 90s, the solenoid relay is terrible. I sanded this one down and cleaned it up. And, because I got the parts in across the river, I just can't pick them up. It's only like 20 bucks, 22 bucks for a new kit. And you can see where it's all pitted there. But I've cleaned it up pretty good, like it should work. But the little tangs that it rides on the two poles, this one's got a big groove cut into it, so it's not catching all the way. So I'll fix that up when those parts come in. So that's what's going on with the FLH. I also ordered a new stereo. I'm going to keep this Harley stereo. They're pretty good because you can control them from the handlebars here, eh? Your volume and channel changers on your handlebars. And but it's an old cassette deck in there. It works, but I need a USB port. Wi-Fi would be nice. And there's one, I could put a USB port in here and a cigarette lighter. This works. I got power there. But on eBay, there's a guy selling a stereo that fits right in here. I measured the measurements. It's going to bolt right in. It's actually going to be a little bit shorter in the back. $16. $17 delivered right here. So I was going to unscrew this, pull this out. And it's got Wi-Fi, I think 2 USB ports in it. It's got a SD card you can put into it with your music, clock, the radio, FM receiver. I mean, it's 10 times better than this. The only thing is I don't think I'll be able to hook it up to my controls here, so we'll see how that goes. Now the Norton, the day after I had this thing going, you know, it rained, and then it was cold, and then we had an inch of snow, and then that melted, so everything was mud, and then it rained. Then it rained again. It torrentially rained here the night before last, I think it was. Then this morning it was raining, and the sun's coming out now though. But it's still pretty wet and it's really warm. It's supposed to be like 60 today. Yeah, it's already 61, 62, 16, 17 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful day. Fuck. Wish I had a bike ready to go. So this Norton, the taillight didn't work. After I got it going, I was kind of checking that. Well, I had a burnt fuse in there. I think I shorted it out, or touched it to ground. So I think these ones that I'm not using, I'm gonna bend them right up. I put blanks on them so they don't touch the frame anywhere on this side, but I think I'll bend them over. And then what I'm doing here is I'm gonna fix this sumping. So I was gonna put in one of these valves in here. One of the subscribers, Tornado, was it you? Out in BC, I'm not sure, but you put one of these in here, and there's very little room to put a hose on there. So I took these old hoses off so that I can bend this one over more. I'm gonna bend it over this way more so it'll be a little bit more in line, and then it'll work a little bit better. And I'll bend this one over a little bit more because it's just a copper pipe. It bends pretty easily. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm gonna get rid of this. It's got stainless steel wire inside of it. It's pretty heavy duty, but the end's all fray. I think I'm just gonna go back to a conventional rubber hose like this. These are pretty heavy duty. They're automotive, fuel and oil resistant. 1/2 inch. I got 3/8. It's not big enough, so I got to go to 1/2 inch. So I drained the tank. I caught most of the oil, but just a little bit drip out here. And then I'll put that valve in for now until I figure out how I can get one of those ones from Europe. So that's what's going on today. And that's those 3 bikes. And when I get these 3 together, I'll bring the Suzuki in and just button that up, and that'll be done. And yeah, that's what's going on. That's it for now. I'm going to order some new cables. They're made in Toronto, so they should come in a couple of days. These guys are really fast. And I'm going to take off 9 inches off the stock cable. So it'll be on there. It'll have a little bit of a bow to it like that. And then the bottom ones will be same length as the stock ones. So I'll go down and order that right now. I gotta find a bolt for here too. I've lost it or something. I don't know what happened to it. And I'm still working on the other tank over at Peter's house. Hopefully he's got it welded up today. Oh yeah, I gotta solder these, and I wish I could find a new one of these. Oh yeah, I'm fixing this side cover too. The left saddlebag was really dinged up, and I got some matching paint for the red, ruby candy red or something like that. There's light and dark, and the outer's dark. I got some dark coming because the outer's got some big scratches and dings here. I must have fell off the bike and skipped down the road at one time. But besides that, like, the bike's in beautiful shape, like the fairings and tank, everything. There's no scratches anywhere, just that one bag. So I got some matching paint coming in for that, but that comes in through the States for the dark ruby red. But I've got a little bit of that there. I'm going to try to airbrush in and then clear coat it, and that'll clean that up. Okay, that's it. I'm still charging that battery. It's coming down a little bit, but I've charged it up. I ran it a couple months ago, and then I charged it up once, and just can't believe that battery can't hold a decent charge. I don't know. I don't get it, but might be no good. I don't know. That's it for now. I just ordered brake lines from this guy. Ren Sport Auto Parts, does motorcycle parts. Here's the headline, Cafe. 3 brake lines. He's got somewhere you can order 1 brake line, 2, 3, 4 if you want the rear brake line as well too. But this is kind of how you do it. And you go down, you have to read his description here. It says read full description. First you pay for it, and then you contact the seller through you ask him a question, and then that's where you put in all the details. So you measure your cable length from the end of the fitting to the other end of the fitting, not just the rubber part, the whole cable length. You measure that, you get that length, and then you fill out the details in here. But to fill out these details, you got to scroll down and you pick the fittings: 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, straight fitting, or 15 degree, or 45 degree, or 90 degree fitting, and you put the number. Just make sure you get the millimeters. The Harleys are 10 millimeter. Here's all the different fittings you could order on it. So you start by putting in which hose you're talking about. Hose 1, you want fittings 1 and 2, the length of it, 36, and then the type. The type is the, where is it? How the fittings are located on the hose. This is straight. They're both facing the same way. Now, this one's facing 45 degrees. This one's at 90. And on the FXR, from the master cylinder to the bridge on the fork tree is a 90. So I ordered that one, type C. And then there's this one here where it's 180 apart. That's how you do it. Pick a color. In this ad, he's got these 4 colors, but I believe he has other colors as well too. So I just ordered those, and the last time, I've ordered them 2 or 3 times for different bikes I've owned. The last time I ordered it, it was at my front door in like 72 hours. Now today's Sunday, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's here by Wednesday. Okay, I think that'll wrap up this video here, but I'm just keeping busy. The weather's warmed up to almost 70 degrees today. It's unbelievable. And I got to get one of these bikes on the road so I got something to ride. Talk to you later.